Warning, the following game is rated M for the reasons listed below. If you're uncomfortable with any of that, then I would recommend watching something else. But if you're fine with it, then put on your funny glasses and enjoy. Everyone has a game that impacts their life. It doesn't have to be one of your favorite games, but it has to change you in some way. For me, that game was Persona 4 Golden. I played it when it released on Steam, and it was such a fun and unique experience with great music and memorable moments. But how exactly did it change my life? It convinced me that I could justify wasting money. After completing P4G, I wanted to experience more of this series, but being a Nintendo fanboy, I didn't have any way to play the other games. So I blew my last 3 paychecks on a PS4 and Persona 5 Royal. This is what started me on the path of poor financial choices, or as I like to call it, collecting. My collection has grown quite a bit since then, now with the addition of a PS2 and 3 library. And if you count 2 games as a library, then I guess a PS1 library as well. Collecting is not just about throwing away my college funds though. Because of collecting, I've been able to experience games that I would have never tried out otherwise. Then there are the games that I should not have bought but did anyways because I have a problem. And that's how I ended up with a copy of vanilla Persona 4. How am I going to justify this terrible purchase? I'm making a video about it so that I can say I played it. This will not be a comparison between the original game and Golden, because A, I don't have any gameplay footage for Golden, and B, Golden is just the better game. It's Persona 4, but with more content and quality of life changes. More evidence to why this was a terrible purchase. But I guess it's too late now, so let's talk about Persona 4. Persona 4 takes place in a small, quiet town that is shaken up by serial murders, and it's up to a group of high schoolers to catch the killer with their abilities to summon physical manifestations of their personalities. Wait, why does that sound so familiar? Yes, this game's story has a lot in common with Diamond is Unbreakable, and that's not all either. Both killers mainly target women, both have a corpse hanging from a telephone pole, and both have a character that loses their big bro.
Senpai, no! Please get up!
At least if you suck at the game like me. Not everything is the same between the two. For example, in JoJo's, the killer kinda just... Whereas in P4, the killer shoves people into a TV and lets their suppressed thoughts kill them instead. So that's different. The gameplay is split into 2 main categories: epic god-slaying turn-based RPG, and anime boy high school life simulator. The game runs on a calendar system that gives you time to participate in certain activities each day. Want to hang out with friends? That takes time. Want to go into another world and fight demons? That takes time. Want to use a capsule machine? What a waste of an afternoon. Fishing, eating, reading, working, etc. and etc. You get it. My favorite way to pass time in this game was by consuming random items from the fridge. This is something that I do in real life too. Just ask my friends. Whenever someone gets chucked into the TV, it's up to you and your band of buddies, and Teddy, to go in and get them out. In order to do this, you need to explore dungeons and fight shadows. If you don't get them out before the fog settles in town, well... The dungeons that you have to explore kinda suck. They are randomly generated, but they don't benefit from it. When making something randomly generated, the goal should be to make it feel different every time. That's not the case. Every floor of every dungeon feels the same as the last, but with the room shuffled and none of them have much going on. The music is good though. Sometimes. But hey, at least the battles are fun. Most enemies have a weakness. If you hit it, you knock them down. Knock all of the enemies down, you get a dogpile of them like a Walmart employee on Black Friday. It's great, but what makes it really fun is SP management. If you want to hit an enemy's weakness, you're going to have to spend some SP. Once you're low on SP, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle on every single encounter, with the only real way to restore SP being to call it a day and go home, or pay the fox, but he charges more than college tuition. You're forced to decide if it's time to play it safe and call it quits, or push on and hopefully not die. And if you die, well, tough luck, you just wasted a good chunk of your life. Every game over sends you back to the title screen. You will spend upwards of 50 minutes at a time in the dungeon, so that's a lot of progress lost if you died. But hey, as long as your entire team is healed up, you should be fine.
No, senpais!
Oh. Never mind. I have no idea who the genius behind this choice was, but if the player dies, it's an automatic game over. Even though I have teammates that I can control who have revival ability, it's fine. Just prioritize all your defense and heals on to you, and you should be fine.
No, Sensei! Sensei, get up!
I don't even need to explain why this is bad game design, right? Why make it so one character can't die no matter what if the game can just coin flip an insta-kill on him? All it does is waste your time and make you track back through the boring dungeons again. Once at the top of the dungeons, it's time to fight a boss that reflects the victim's true feelings. And can I just ask, why are so many of the shadows based around sex in some way? Haha, sex and freedom. Haha, sex and dudes. Haha, sex and boobs. Gamer! The fights with the shadows are all pretty good though. It's a turn-based game, so you will have to be a certain level to stand a chance, but with the right strategy, you can take these guys on while under-leveled. And because I hate grinding, this is how I beat most of the boss fights. I say most because Mitsuo was a better gamer than I was. Once you've rescued the victim, it's time to leave the TV world and enter something way more terrifying. Reality. Here, you do things like go to school, hang out with friends, go to work. You know, all the things you couldn't do thanks to a global pandemic. There are a bunch of things that you can do during these parts of the game, but the biggest one is the social links. Hanging out with friends increases their social links and lets you learn a bit more about their character. Some of these social links are super memorable and touching, and others are like Chies where nothing really happens. These social links also give you stat increases when fusing personas, but that's not really important. There are a ton of social links in this game, but due to the calendar system, you won't finish most of them. And because I don't know how to manage my time, another quality of mine from real life, the only 3 social links I completed outside of the main cast were my uncle, a nurse, and a fox. And one of those 3 was really bad. Another cool addition is you can actually date some of the girls after leveling up their social link enough. And I know what you guys are all thinking. Who did I romance?
Thank you so much! I love you guys!
I'm sorry, but not really. I know this makes me look like a degenerate, but look at who I mean in Guilty Gear. Does this really come off as a surprise to anyone? Anyways, outside of the social links, there are some parts of the game where the main cast just does stuff together. And this is where the mystery gang really shines. Scenes like the school camping trip, the King's game, and the study group get me laughing every single time.
That's it, I quit. This just ain't my thing. To hell with the exams. It's time for my animal crackers.
Ooh, can I have some too? I want to find the penguin!
Hands off the penguin! It's mine!
I friggin' love kanji, man. But it's not always happy. Some of these scenes hit harder than a delivery truck. And even though I knew everything that was gonna happen in this game, there was still a scene that made me cry. But in order to talk about it, I need to go into spoilers. So, spoiler warning, skip to the timestamp below if you don't wish to be spoiled. Spoilers start in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that one hurt. This entire section of the game is rough to play through. From Nanako being kidnapped and Dojima being hospitalized, all the way up to Nanako's death. The game is put into sad boy mode. Everyone is gloomy, there's never anyone to come home to. You can't even eat anything out of the fridge anymore because no one comes home to restock it. It just looks the same as always. But hey, at least now we know who the killer is, except we don't. The guy who's been kidnapping everyone is actually trying to protect the people from the real killer, as stupid as that sounds. So we're left back to square one, but the game needs to end soon, so let's just accuse someone and hope we're right. Luckily, I've played a lot of Among Us, so I'm good at stuff like this. But I mean, it's not really that hard to figure out. We all know it's not it's not her. I guess Adachi's kind of been acting sus the whole game.
We already know Namatami's the one who put them all in!
What did you just say?
What's this putting them in business?
Well, hey, would you look at that, I was right. Adachi being the villain was something I predicted on my first playthrough. He was not around enough to be convincingly innocent, but he was around enough so that it turned out to be him, it would feel like a big twist. But what I could have never guessed was his motivation. And that motivation is why I think he works so well as a villain. The reason he decided to kill people was because he found out he could and then said screw it. He doesn't have some stupid high and mighty reasoning like, oh, I was just trying to give them salvation. Seymour. No, he was just bored and thought this would make life more interesting. And because he has no real motivation, his personality doesn't make a complete 180. He feels like a very human villain. But after you beat him, he gets the G-Virus and turns into a big eyeball and you gotta fight that. And once that's beaten, the fog is cleared, Nanako somehow revived and recovers because anime, and the game is finally over, except it's not. I may have been able to predict Adachi being the killer, But what I could have never predicted in a million years was that random gas station employee that you met one time was a god. And big surprise, she's also evil, so we gotta stop her. Izunami works as a great final boss because she's all about deceiving you, and your group's all about figuring out the truth. Also, Kanji's confidence during this fight is great.
A god? Huh, bring it on! Too slow!
Kanji's injured!
You fight her, she kills you, except she doesn't. Power of friendship, you win the fight, peace is restored. It's a JRPG. Did you expect anything different? Persona 4 is a game that I will always hold close to my heart. On top of being the most important game I've ever played, it's also just a great game in general. And no matter where games may take me in the future, I will never forget the amazing time I spent in Inaba. So, should you play Persona 4? No. Just play Golden instead. It's literally cheaper than vanilla Persona 4. Why did I purchase this?